Hello, my name is Michael Sheridan. I'm from Ireland. You might detect a bit of an accent. Please allow it. You might also detect that I tend to talk a little bit fast. I've had lots of friends call me wishing me well for this first show, and they all reminded me to breathe and speak slowly. So hopefully that works. Anyway, this show is all going to be about me talking about dream interpretation. Hopefully you will find it interesting, and some of you may get the courage to call in to have your dreams analysed. Please do. You've already got the number, but again, it's 425-373-5527. It's much more interesting when people call because I will use your dreams as the examples and basis for explaining why I say dreams mean what they say. So it's not just me saying the interpretation, it's going to be me saying why it means that particular thing. So that should make it interesting. I'm lucky that it is dreams. Usually it's it's one of those things that even the skeptics listen in on because they have dreams too, and they find it interesting to see the ridiculous things people can say that they mean. But if you're a skeptic, don't let that put you off. Phone in, try me with your dream, and we'll see if we can convert you. Okay, so what makes me qualified to do this? The answer is really that anybody can do this if they have the interest. I've been teaching classes on dream interpretation for about 25 years now. Throughout that time, I've been a guest on radio and TV shows analysing callers' dreams. So I've done this many times. The big difference this time, and it is a big difference, is hosting a show. So I was thinking this morning about my childhood DJ heroes that really made this type of thing look easy. I was thinking about them when I was using the bathroom for about the fourth time. So it's not as easy as it seems. But anyway, let's see if we can make it fun, especially if people call in with dreams. The title I gave the show is So You Think You're Awake. I picked this title because we're asleep while we dream, but rarely are we more closely in touch with the meaning of life, and in particular the meaning of our life. Our dreams are a dialogue between our soul and our higher self. They're dispatched to give guidance and healing, and they ask us to make changes that are necessary to achieve our life purpose, or indeed the change itself may be part of our life purpose. In the dream state, we fully understand the message, but due to conditioning, we frequently reject it. When we're awake, we have moved so far from that connection that we usually don't even know what the dream means and forget we are even being nudged to stay on our path. We don't even know there is a path. And this is the state we call awake. So I picked this title because through proper analysis of our dreams, we can determine our life purpose and take steps to achieve it. Why would you want to do that? Do you like how I ask my own questions, including this one? It helps to be schizophrenic so long as I don't ask myself a question I don't know the answer to, I suppose. But you want to do it because we do have a life purpose. Each of us has a life purpose. If you're listening to this station, you probably already are in alignment with that. So we can live our lives in two different ways, well, many different ways. But one of the ways is where we live our life asleep, and that's called on the karmic path. That's a word that's quite often misused. People will say karma is where you get back what you give out 10 times over, and it's not really that. The karmic path allows us to experience life and learn about ourselves through the experience. In our life, we only grow through changes. We only get to take what we have taken on board and learned about ourselves. That's all we get to take with us when we die. We get to take nothing physical whatsoever. So life is about us learning about ourselves and increasing our awareness and bringing that awareness back to the spirit world. We do it on the karmic path by events happening that sometimes are troublesome, upsetting, etc., but they don't have to be. Like winning the lotto can be a karmic event. But these things they're the times in our lives when we stop and ask and question and say, okay, what's going on? What am I doing that's wrong? Or indeed, am I doing anything wrong? Or what do I need to do to improve my lot in life? We rarely find people asking about their lives, and I'm asking what can be improved when everything is already going swimmingly. So people quite often think when things aren't going great, that's them off track. But usually that's the time when you're most on track, because it's through that experience, through that grief or whatever it happens to be, that you get to test your foundation, test your beliefs, and whatever you come out with on the other side of that is usually a more in-depth, expanded philosophy and definitely deeper thoughts about what your life is about and how you can deal with various different things in your life. My favorite aspect of dream analysis is spiritual gifts. I tend to hide that with people, and I talk about health a lot. Dreams cover everything. They cover relationship, health. Health is a big one. career, life purpose, various abilities you have, that are important for you to use in achieving your life purpose. But the spiritual gifts, they're called spiritual gifts, but they're not really gifts. They're things we bring with us. We've prepared with them before we were born. We've planned on how to use them in the spirit world. So they, in general, are how we're going to repay our debts, how we're going to achieve our life purpose. So using them is going to help us help someone else, and in the process, help us help ourselves. Anything that's spiritual, in reality, it's really a two-way street. It's never just all about you giving and you helping other people. There's always got to be something else in it. And again, it's easier to see this when we look at a few dreams. So if we can get callers, but I have some dreams here, people sent in. So that's important. The web address is dream-analysis.com. And if you do go to dream-analysis.com/kknw, you will get all the details about how to send me your dreams in advance by email. So if you're too afraid to come on the air, that's fine. But we do have Laura in Bellevue at the moment who's got a dream. So go ahead, Laura. What's your dream?
Oh, hi. Thank you so much. I am a cat whisperer, and I have loved cats all my life and lived with them. But I find also I dream very, very frequently about cats. Usually random cats I've never met and have never known. And I wondered, why I might be dreaming about cats. But I also wonder something in particular. Just a few nights ago, I dreamed about a black cat. Again, a random cat I've never known, who kept jumping into my lap and sitting down.
Okay. First of all, the fact that you love cats and have lots of cats, that's going to be a good reason to dream about them. We tend to, remember to slow down now, we tend to dream about things that are in our lives, but it's the differences that are important. So in your dreams, you're not dreaming about the cats that you know. We know, okay, we definitely look at the cats. They're not just part of your normal background that we disregard from the dream. So cats can represent a number of things. Very commonly, they represent the digestive system.
Oh, really?
Because and digestive system issues. But then it's where the cat is can often help you determine that. So if they're in the kitchen or in a bathroom, or there's other symbols in the dream that indicate the digestive system. So we have an expression in Ireland, if you've had too much Guinness the night before, you might say to your friends that your stomach is cat. So we even have that expression. I know it's not here. But the reason the expression is there is because cat gut was used for a lot of things. I don't know if it still is. Mm-hmm. And there's that general understanding that it was used like for fishing line, for stitches and operations, et cetera, et cetera. Mm-hmm. So it does have the connection with the gut because cat gut was used for many things. So if you're having digestive system trouble, that's enough of a reason to be dreaming about cats. Mm. They can also indicate other things, and I'll just cover them all. They can indicate guilt, particularly if it's a black cat. And the reason they can indicate guilt, and they can be over something silly. Guilty is a feeling that has absolutely no spiritual merit. It doesn't help you in any way whatsoever. But everybody has it from time to time over something silly they've done. But it represents that because we used to use, when I say we, it was nothing to do with me, the cat o' nine tails was used to purge sailors of their sins. And so that purged you of guilt. But black in a dream has no redeeming features. The meaning of colours in dreams comes from the meaning of colours in the aura, and black is never a good colour or a welcome colour in the aura. So, but it can also indicate something that's karmic, something that is going to happen to you, but it's part of your path, but it just seems like a very negative thing at the time. So, coming back to you and your reality, you just look at what stands out. Of course, you say it's cats you don't know. So the first thing I would always go for is, are you having digestive system trouble?
Actually, yes.
Okay. So what else is in the dream that could give you a clue as to what it is? And it doesn't have to. What you can find is because we know what the dream is about, and you know what you've eaten during the day. When these dreams are triggered, it's most likely telling you, look, something you've either eaten or something that's upset you during the day is affecting you, and you need to be cognizant of it and either cut down on that food or cut it out, or don't eat when you're upset about something. This is a really important thing. One thing, it depends on your upbringing, but some people have the habit of saying grace before a meal. And that's really a very good thing. Whether you're religious or not, it's the idea of it, putting yourself into a very positive frame of mind before you ingest food that you want to be good for you. But what we tend to do is we come home from work, we bitch about our boss, we bitch about various different things that have happened to us that day. Our partner's doing the same thing, and we're supercharging the atmosphere in our food with negativity, and then eating it and expecting it to do as well. So it's never a good idea to eat when you're when you're upset. So those two things will work really well. Look at the foods, and then make sure you're in a positive frame of mind, thinking about how the food is good for your body before you eat it.
That's wonderful advice, Michael. Thank you so much. And I just wanted to welcome you to this listening audience and tell you that my lineage is from Tipperary.
Oh, super. I'm home.
So am I. Thank you so much,
Thanks
Michael.
a lot. Thanks a lot. It was really good. A lot of the well wishes. Thanks very, very much for people who emailed, etc. about that. So let's have a look at some of the things. Let's just pick the most important rule in dream analysis. And the first is that everything in the dream is you. And this is something that we quite often don't like, because we could have a dream, for instance, where you're going to an airport and you're trying to get a plane going somewhere, and your partner forgets the passports. And of course, when you think about the dream later on, even if you know that an airplane departure in a dream represents a new project taking off or something taking off in your life, which is always going to be a good thing. But when you have that dream and look at the dream, you go, okay, my partner's holding me back. And when you consider rule one, that everything is you, that's not the case. It means that you are using your partner to hold yourself back, or at least blaming your partner in you holding yourself back. So it's never going to be about somebody else. There are very, very, very rare exceptions. So don't assume you're one of those people that has exceptions to this rule. So whatever's happening in the dream, you're the cause of it. So you're the one that, and really importantly, the flip side of that is if you're the cause, you also have the power to do something about it. If dreams showed you something that you had no power to change, that would be absolutely useless, wouldn't do you any good whatsoever. So they always show you something as it is and something you can change. Like Laura's dream, she can do something about her digestive system. So health is a big one in dreams. It comes up a lot, but it's the least liked part of my website. I have over 4,000 pages on dream-analysis.com. They're all free. Lots of radio shows on there too, video as well. But of all the pages, it's the least liked. And people only tend to look at health in dreams when they know they've already got a problem. But your dreams are going to warn you about things years and years in advance. They're like carrying a doctor around in your pocket who watches everything you do, everything you touch, every environment you're ever in, everything you eat, everything that stresses you, everything that doesn't, etc., 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 how much sleep you're getting. And your dreams are like that. And they comment then and say, okay, if you continue with this pattern, and they'll always single out whatever it is, if you continue with this pattern, then you have the potential for developing this particular health condition. Again, that's easier to see when we look at some real dreams. But even last Thursday, Friday, I was in Camp Edgeware giving a talk, and a pastor had a dream about lightning striking her grandfather's head. But he got up and was looking out the window at the lightning. And this was already after the event for her, but the dream had happened way before, but she had a stroke. And this is one of the things lightning represents, or lightning hitting a head in a dream, or hitting a roof, etc., etc., something that indicates the head. So lightning hitting something can indicate that, but you get that dream well in advance to say, this is something you can do. This doesn't mean ignore your dreams that give you bad advice. It would be just like ignoring a doctor with good advice. There's no such thing as a bad message in a dream. They're always saying, here's something that you can prevent, and here's something you can improve. They're always on about improving things. So if we go back to the first rule, everything is you, then it breaks up even easier. There's a few things we can say in that. The physical body is represented by solid objects, such as houses, buildings, and cars. Really, anything that you can fit inside in a dream can represent the physical body. And the reason it represents that is we are, I would often trick people and say, do you agree you have a soul? And most people say, yes, they do. But really, the correct way to look at it is you are a soul and you have a body. So you are the soul inside your body. So a person in a dream fitting inside something, or typically a house and a car or any other building, represents the physical body, especially if there is problems drawn to something with the physical structure. So something broken, a wall crumbling, a toilet in disrepair, etc., etc. Your state of mind is indicated by air or atmosphere. Storms and dark clouds, for instance, above on the horizon can indicate depression looming. These all seem negative. I love the examples I brought with me today. They're not always negative. Not everything you're going to hear in a dream is something you do not want to know. They're quite often, dreams will tell you there's something that you're hanging on to that if you let it go, your life's going to be way much more interesting. And quite often we hold on to responsibilities that we think we own, that we don't, that they actually belong to somebody else. And we can move on from those, talking to you, Susan. We can move on from those, stop looking after people that have really no major significance in our lives in helping us achieve our life purpose. Our emotions are represented by symbols of fire, like lightning or a fireplace. There doesn't have to be fire in the fireplace. Once there's a fireplace there, then it's saying that this is going to be about your heart, your emotions, and circulatory system. This is the biggest aspect of health that comes up in dreams. And the reason it's the biggest is because 1 out of every 2 people die of heart-related illness. So it's a big issue that comes up in dreams. Not everybody's dreams, but a lot of people's dreams. And it comes up for years and years and years and years in advance of anything ever happening. So there's no such thing as a sudden heart attack or a sudden stroke. They are not sudden. Your dreams have been screaming at you for years saying, hey, here's something that you can do something about. They always say why you have the issue, where it came from, which parent you copied a trait from or you were affected by, and then what you need to do to resolve it so that it is no longer ever an issue in your life. And that's always really good. And then going back to my favorite aspect of it all, spiritual life is represented by unpolluted water like rivers, lakes, canals, seas, and oceans. And how they're depicted is really significant in a dream. So a canal, for instance, is a body of water whose structure or whose flow is restricted by something that is man-made. So it says your spiritual outlook or your spiritual flow is restricted by man-made or conventional ideals. And a lot of us suffer from that. We think that we are open and we're using our abilities the way we should be using them. But because we grow up in an American society or a Western society, we have all the issues that go along with that, expectations put on us in childhood, the way we're basically trained early on in our lives. We carry that into adulthood. We're meant to. It's important that we do. But that can then be something we need to deal with to free our minds so that we can use our abilities better. A river is a much better symbol, for instance, because it has a natural flow. It's not restricted by any obstacles, and if it is restricted, it'll work around those obstacles in time. So perfect one. And then the ocean is another common one in dreams. Life comes from the ocean, but really the analogy is life comes from the spirit world. So when you see the ocean in dreams, it's going to be about your spiritual purpose and your path. And dreams that show your birth or a symbol indicating birth are almost always going to show what your spiritual gifts are, because when you come into life in the beginning, these are really important, and your life purpose and the gifts you're going to use to help you achieve that purpose are there in strong force and very much in your awareness. So they show up in the dreams that bring you back to that age. Did you want to take a break, Eric? Okay, so we're just going to take a quick break and back with you in a few moments.
Think about your favorite birthday. What if that memory never happened? Birthday Dreams is a local nonprofit charity that provides the joy of birthday parties to kids in shelters and transitional housing from Everett to Tacoma. In 5 years of operation, they have brought over 2,500 birthday parties to homeless children and are adding more every day. Birthday Dreams is dependent on donations and volunteers. Please go to their website at birthdaydreams.org to make donations, find ways to get involved, or see examples of the great work they do. That's birthdaydreams.org.
You hear that? That's the sound of healthy, safe water from the tap. And that safe water is available nearly everywhere in America, thanks in large part to the Safe Drinking Water Act, which turns 40 this year. Happy birthday, Safe Drinking Water Act. Together, let's keep our water safe for the next 40 years and beyond. To learn how to protect your water, visit drinktap.org. This message brought to you by the American Water Works Association and your local water provider.
Alternative Talk 1150 is on the interwebs. Dial us up at 1150kknw.com.
Okay, welcome back. Just to remind you, the number is 425-373-5525. If you want to call in with your dream, please
27. Sorry to interrupt you, Michael, but
I'm glad you did.
425-373-5527 or toll free in Western Washington, 888-298-KKNW. That's 888-298-5569. Just wanted to clarify real quick.
Yes, I could be blind or nervous or both.
You're doing great. You're doing great.
So I am. Also, you can send your dreams in advance to dream-analysis.com. Look up dream-analysis.com/KKNW. The details for sending me the dreams are there. And I got a couple. This one is from Jenny. She says, a very beautiful mother, teenage daughter, and little teenager girl were in a horrific accident. Their beauty really stood out, especially the mother. She had gone to pick up the two girls. The hospital personnel tried to give me the mother in a plastic bag. At this point, she was the size of a doll. There wasn't a mark on her, and I wondered how she could have been in such a horrific accident and still look perfect and beautiful. I didn't want the bag and wondered why they were trying to give her to me. Okay, so this is really common in dreams. They bring you back to your teenage, or either teenage or earlier, usually a lot earlier. In childhood, like when we're in the spirit world, we have particular dysfunctions and traits that we have chosen we're going to work on while we're here. But how do you come down here with a blank slate and pick up a problem that you need to work on? And what we do is we pick an environment and we pick parents that are going to help us adopt that trait. So we're born into a family that is a particular way. We react by either copying the way they are or we rebel against the way they are. But whatever it is, we are going to pick up the trait. And that's not too difficult for us to do because remember, we already have that leaning. We pick up the trait, we keep it with us all through our younger life and then past our teenage years. And once we get past about 15, after a process called myelination, we have that trait locked into our brains. And in dealing with that trait, that's how we're going to achieve our life purpose. We're going to eliminate a condition that we've carried in the spirit world for a very, very long time. So you don't look at your childhood and say, I'm messed up because of my mom or my dad or whatever happens to be. We look at that and we say, okay, our childhood is instrumental in helping us achieve whatever it is we need to achieve while we're here. We need to pick up particular things, and in dealing with those particular things, that's how we're going to grow. So dreams will bring us back to our childhood. They do it quite frequently for people with parents by introducing their own kids in the dreams. So she had a teenage daughter, and then also there was two girls. Now, the two can indicate a time to go back to, age 2 in a dream, or in life, and look at that. So it's going to be about that, age 2, all the way up to teenage years. And how do we know it's definitely childhood? We also have mother is the size of a doll. So you look at the things that you say in the dream. We also know that this is something that's going to help the dreamer to look at because she says she was picking them up from school to go to a movie. So school is a place of learning, and in a dream represents learning about ourselves with a view to improving ourselves. And a movie in dreams is also about expanding ourselves. This comes from back in the time when we used to go to the movies and see the newsreels, etc. It was a way of disseminating information, getting the bigger picture, what's happening on the planet. It still means that in a dream, mainly because the screen is so big, etc. It gives us a bigger view. So this dreamer's been asked to look at her childhood, look at the negative effects, and only the negative effects of issues that she's picked up from her mother. Now, her mother could have a million positive traits. Dreams are only going to focus on what you need to deal with, and they're always going to be negative ones. So how are you affected? And we know it was bad because we see there's a horrific accident, etc., is the emphasis of the dream. So this affects how this person thinks. It affects her state of mind. And most likely she doesn't see herself as beautiful because of whatever went on in her childhood. And this is, you could be the most beautiful person on the planet. If you've been trained and been told that you're lacking something all this for a long time in your childhood, that's going to affect you. So you look at that and you say, and we will know, if it's our own dream, we will know what we need to look at. But the dream is saying, look, you are beautiful, despite everything you think you're beautiful. And the last thing we have to look at here in this dream is that she's given the mother in a plastic bag. So it's basically saying, look, you're still carrying your mother around. And in the dream, you don't want to, so that's really good. And the plastic bag says, look, this is a conditioning because plastic is a man-made substance. So this is something that isn't natural. This is something you can let go of, or indeed need to let go of. But it might require looking at issues in your childhood to do it. But the dream is encouraging you to do it because your own inner beauty is going to shine when you do. So really, really positive dream, ultimately. And thanks for sending that in. And so another dream that I have is from Annie. She says, I'm going to pull it up here. I'm in a room with a tree lady, and I know we're running out of time. She's doing some kind of reading on me. I'm sitting in a chair, and this is being videotaped. There are two other people watching. At some time during the reading, I'm picked up and lifted out of my chair. As I rise in the air, I rotate, and I'm watching what happened during the reading on the screen. All around and behind me are lights on the video, mostly white, bright. I know in the dream that they are angels, and I'm crying tears of joy. There are two other people sitting there also in awe. So this dream, going real quickly, says, this person's a channel. She's got the ability to do readings like the guide and the angels in the dream. She can communicate with spirits. But the way it works for her is she gets an image, a video image, a moving image of what is important for her to look at in the person's life that she's given the reading to. So quite a cool way of looking at it. I know I cut that one short. Sorry about that. So that's the show for this week. If you like the show, please tell your friends and come back at the same time next week. If you didn't, please stand closer to the radio. And when I snap my fingers, you'll have forgotten how I just couldn't. Come back next week anyway. Maybe you'll have a dream in the meantime, and you can call in with that.